was your dream when you were a teenager?
My dream?
Yeah.
My thing was, I wanted to die so I can see who came to my funeral, how many girls was gonna cry, who was gonna do it big for me and stuff like that. And it was like, that's when I think I woke up after that too. Like, I'm like, what the heck? Like, that's crazy. No child should ever think like that. Nobody in life should ever think, man, I can't wait till I die. I wanted to get killed so I can see who came to my funeral. How I'ma see that? Yeah, that was crazy though. You ever had a dream like that?
Shots earlier tonight. Richmond has been very busy for detectives here in the last day or so. 6 shootings, as you said, in 24 hours.
On Christmas Eve, Richmond police responded for a double shooting. Police say 2 victims were taken to the hospital, with 1 victim having life-threatening.
This morning, Richmond police got a call about a person shot with a life-threatening gunshot wound. This is a look at that scene this morning. That man is in critical condition at the hospital.
It was hard growing up. Gunshots in the morning, gunshots throughout the night to wake you up. Mama always said hit the floor and just hold your head. I have friends who has been shot, robbed, killed for none at all. It's like a cycle. I see it coming sometimes even before it even comes. It'll keep you up because you just want to do better. And then once you do better, you just want the community to do better. But it ain't always that easy. It ain't just cut to the point like that. And I wish stuff changed.
Right now, someone could literally come through that cup right there with a gun drawn and be shooting at somebody. Or right now, you can say, wow, this is very peaceful. You got people sitting on their porch enjoying the breeze. You got little kids riding a bike. You got a place to live. It's just a regular street, right? What's so bad about it?
It's good and bad, and that's everywhere. Every environment, everybody got good and bad people. It just happens. But it's bright people here, I would say. It's people in this project right now, as we speak, got potential. This my home, so everybody in this neighborhood, to me, I want them to make it out.
It don't matter what I'm doing or how I'm doing it, I'm always gonna get back to my community because they gonna need it the most, and it'll benefit them. Kids never forget people coming out there showing them love, showing them respect from the gate, and showing them a different way to live. They always gonna remember that.
What up, baby? You ain't see me do like this? A lot of people take it out of character when they say, oh, the projects or Mosby and they hear the killings. What about the positive stuff? See, we don't get to do this type stuff, far as like being able to, we don't really get an outlet to really tell our story so people can really hear us. Eh?
We call it unexpected because people just don't expect us to get far in life. People just don't expect kids from the projects to make it out or go far. They always think about the deaths or jail. That's the first 2 things that come to people's mind when they think about kids from the project. So I'm trying to show an example and be a leader to not show that.
A lot of the residents just want to be heard.
And her mom live right here.
They just want somebody to listen and to hear their stories. They all have stories.
We used to sit out here all the time, have fun.
I get choked up on this because they just want to be heard.
Well, my sister has a good garden here, y'all. So one year she said, I'm gonna be like you, I'm gonna plant some flowers. So she came over here and dug up all this dirt for me. And we was out here digging it up, and I didn't know it was that much work. And then ever since then, it's been about 4 years now, I just been keeping it up. I grew up in Jacksonville, which is called Gilpin Court. And back then, growing up over there, it was just like family. Everybody just got along, and that I really liked about us growing up in the projects. Your family might be had less money than we had. Oh well, I had friends, they loved to come. My dad used to work at a grocery store. My mom worked. So my dad, we always had groceries. On Saturdays, when he bring the groceries, we had goodies. He'd bring a bag. The guys used to run, Mr. Lynn, can I help you? I used to be mad sometimes. My dad don't need y'all help because he'll get them a soda or something, for help. And I used to be mean. I used to say, no, they don't need us help. But then I stopped, no, Gwen, you can't do that because they trying to get stuff that they don't have, and then it teach you to appreciate people, you know, and accept people for who they are, and don't judge people. And that's one thing that growing up in the project that I really, really learned, you know, that stuck with me and made me the person that I am today.
Yeah, oh my God, this is gonna be crazy. I ain't been in here so long. Yeah, this used to be our living room. Like our couch was right there, this the closet, yeah. Yeah, they put this cabinet in here, this cabinet one right here, cause we had the deep freezer right here. I love this hood, like seriously. Me, my family, everybody, this is where we come from. You can't knock it, you know what I'm saying? It made me the man I am today, I tell you that much. I love it too. I done broke my arm on this pole right here. We had our wash machines right. Everybody knew everybody in this area. My grandma used to be Channel 6. She was Channel 8. And then we had Miss Geneva down there, that was Channel 12. You couldn't do nothing in front of them. they were like, I'm telling you, they would tell on and tell you they don't kill neither. That's when we had a tight-knit community though. Yup, this is my old house, man. Yup, from the age of 1 year old till I was like 16. Because of my story and because of where I came, it was only about this little black boy from Mosby Court. That's it, a little black boy from Mosby Court that tried, failed, got back, and God gave a second life to. All right, thanks, man.
But yeah, this is where it started, and my whole childhood. I cried when I told the story that these gates right here are iron now, but they actually used to be the silver fences. And I could only ride my bike or my skates. I could only roller skates from one end of the fence back to the other one. But I could not leave from in front of the door, 2347, sit right over there, the second house. And I could only sit on the front porch. And I'm telling you, back in my day, now that's what you call fun. It was jump rope, double dutch, skates, bike riding. You had everything back then, cheerleading. But I couldn't leave from in front of that door or off that porch. And the first time I, told that, tears ran down my eyes. And I had no idea why I was crying. And something that small, I found out was really haunting me and just really, it was a trauma for me. And I got past that trauma when I started talking to other moms and heard our stories of what they went through as a child, until it put me to shame. And it made me stop telling that story. Because some people went through a lot of stuff, bad stuff. And now as a 40-year-old, I know what my mom protected me from. Yep.
First house right here, right in the middle, that's where I grew up. 1201 St. Peter Street. I grew up in Gilpin Court. Some people call it Jackson Ward, but it's Gilpin Court. It's poverty, it's happiness, it's sad, it's strong. It makes you out to be that man or that woman at an early age. And out here, you're gonna learn fast and you're gonna grow up fast. Hey. My mom, she knew how to love, and she had a big heart. And she wasn't a mom that'll tell me if something happened, be macho, be muscular, shake it off, don't cry. She wasn't like that. Like, she always told me, get it out, let it out, cry, let it out, tell me how you feeling. And I think that's what kept us so close, because she knew from a young age that I needed her the most. All our family stayed there. You come there, you can eat. You ain't really gotta ask for too much. My mama always get to you. Early on, I made a pact with my mom that I wasn't gonna turn to the street life. A lot of my friends were, because at this time I was a teenager, and already some of my friends was locked up or they had murder charges. And then on, like, I knew that she was scared. Some of my friends I just stopped seeing, or they got into some legal trouble. kill someone or they just end up in prison. They was dead or they was in prison. I seen the cars some of my friends had. I seen the money that they had, the clothes that they would wear, and I wanted that. And I wanted to be out there with them. And I had this one friend who would tell me, and he was my age, "This not you, TJ. No. Go back in the house. What you need, some money? Here." He knew that wasn't me, but he knew I started to slip away in a way like he didn't like it. Just him saying that, I listened to him. So my temptation, it definitely was there. But I supposed to do something else. Like I was here for something else, and that wasn't one of them.
I was born and raised in a place called Fairfield Court, Richmond, Virginia. It was one of the craziest neighborhoods I have ever been in. The hardest part about growing up was watching the neighborhood become violent, and the people I grew up with became drug dealers and gangsters. I did not know who to trust. My thought process was destiny. Sometimes I saw and experienced still have me traumatized to this day. That's the first paragraph.
What was the assignment?
So a narrative essay, based on a story that happened in your life. It happened, an incident happened like 2 years ago. One of my friends got killed at a party I had. So it's about that.
Okay. This is my brother Maye, he incarcerated. My mom and my brother Maye. This is the kid's father. His roughest time was in high school. His dad had passed away, and it got real bad for him. No, I think my brother passed away first, then his dad had passed away. Then it was just too much for him. Memories, a life in the hole.
Went to a lot of funerals. That past 3 months maybe, I went to like 4 funerals in that last 2 months. In 2 months I went to 4 funerals. And then after that I went to another one. So it was kind of difficult time for me, and I was just trying to find somewhere to take it out on.
Basically everything a teenager that you don't want them to do, he used to do.
Could you give an example?
Run away from home, smoking, anything that you didn't want him to do, he did. As long as he doing good, we don't talk. If he messing up, I be like, we need to talk.
But if we ain't,
man, what's wrong, man? So we sit my head tell me you ain't smoking weed. Where you get that from? Instagram. Be respectful, like, I'm your mama, you can't keep doing that stuff, like, nah. It was scary at first. Then I would just have to sit and talk to him. I was like, we got a counselor appointment, just mark your calendar, we going. He's like, okay. He knew he needed it.
I always wanted to do better, you know, but it was always hard. I knew in my mind I wasn't doing good, but I was trying to do better.
As long as he being positive and discreet and not trying to hide nothing, be cool. But once the negative start, I gotta correct it soon as I see it. If I see that they're in trouble, that means I'm in trouble with them. Can't give up on them. Some gotta give. I can't take no for nothing. No option. That means you're giving up on them. I love them too much.
Well, a lot of our black brothers has fallen prey to substance abuse, but they always have talent and they have skill, and I always wanted to help them to get back to being that man that they can be without those drugs. And I always just like uplifting my black brothers. Nothing personal, but they just been knocked down and beat down so much. That's just a thing for me. I just like to, and I'll give them chance, you know, personally, I give chances, you know, because I know it's hard sometimes. You might get 1, 2, sometimes you might need 3, 4 chances before you get it right, you know.
This is crazy, man. This the jail hill. This is what we call the jail hill. It was literally up the hill. That was it. It was literally up the hill. Like you can see the, when we were in jail, you can see these apartments and stuff. You can see the house, you can see all that one before they built the new jail. See, the new jail is right there too. But see, the old jail was right, it was right here. It was right here.
Every project is centered towards the jail. Like You got these projects. This is Mosby Court Project. You got Raven Street. You got Jackson Ward right there. You got Wooken Court right there. You got Creighton Court right there. You know, you got the bottom of Mosby. Like, it's just so much you have in every part of these projects, you know what I'm saying? Somebody is subject to go to jail, which is right down the street. And I live right there. It was destined, I guess.
Where we headed?
Right now, we are headed to Lakeview and Meadow. This street right here is like basically everything. I'm gonna take you through this alley. This is where like everywhere around here we used to stand all and like it was crazy. I caught my first indictment right here too. And I was sitting right there. How you doing, sir? All right. And we used to stand out here and post up and get on, get it in. We used to get it in out here. You grew up like me. We had 6 children in the house, and seeing my mama, my stepdaddy going back and forth to jail, and you know, so it was like, man, I just want to help my mama, and I wanted to be the man. And you know, like I say, anybody that say they woke up and said, I want to be a drug dealer, or I want, you know, it's not true. That's not true. People say I was born to sell drugs. No, you won't. I see why everybody that used to live out here and stuff used to have so much money. I'm like, what am I doing that they do? Oh, they got a house out there, okay. Once I started living out here, that's when I seen the most money. One day, big boy Vic gave me like a whole bunch of, he gave me, I'm like, what the heck? He like, man, put it in your house. I'm like, oh, all right, man. He gave me a whole lot of work, so I don't know. After that, he gave me my first, it was him. He gave me my first set. And from there, it was just on then. This was the alley. Whatever you wanted, whatever you needed. Yeah, everything went down. We never went nowhere. This is it. People always be asking like, what else? But this was all we knew. We ain't know nothing else. The stuff we seen, like, it looked good, but we didn't know, like, the turmoil that it brought, I can say, you know, because you seeing nice cars, you seeing the girls, you seeing the guys with the sets, you know, they got chains on, you know, they like, dang, man, that man is living, he living life. But we didn't know about us being kids, man, he miserable as heck. Only thing we see is what's in front of us. We don't know he going home at night, gotta watch his back, you know what I'm saying? People might try to rob him. We didn't know that part. What I thought I supposed to did to become the man, I guess, you know, to become successful in the ugly world, it wasn't true.
When I was in school, I had a mentor, and she took me to, I think she took me to the Rocks. I've never been to the Rocks.
The Rocks, what are the Rocks?
It's like just James River. So my mentor took me to James River, and just being out there, like, just fresh air, like, not being around so much chaos, it gave me some kind of peace. It felt so good just being out there, seeing something different, being around people who just like being outside. I never knew how that could really change a kid, but that really changed me. Like, just looking like, man, this is just simple. Like a trip to James River, like, just being in nature just making me feel like this. It's a lot of things I could be doing. It's a lot of things I never seen. Just seeing that, like, I knew early on, I was like, it's more out here. It's more to see. But my thing was, how I'm gonna see it. My cousin used to always tell me, you can come play some football with us. He was like, you gotta get some guys in your neighborhood to come play with you. And he was like, it's the Ashland Vikings is out here, and I want you to play. I said, man, all right, I'ma play. My cousin used to always tell me, and Tony, They used to tell me, like, this is a whole nother ball game. These guys really know how to play. You gotta learn the game. My mentality was I just wanted to be the best. Everybody knew I could hit, but can I do it in a game and stuff like that? That's when it started to come to play. And then when it started happening in the games, that's when they knew, okay, all right, this kid got something. He can play some football. That's when I was like, yeah, I finally, somebody said it, I can really play now. So I was happy. Like, football was my escape.
Opposing teams would always warm up on that field over there, and we would always warm up in that little space right there.
This was the place to be.
It was the place to be.
Yeah, it kept me on the path of making the right decisions because my mom didn't want me to stay around here. She wanted me to experience something that really take this thing serious. And that's where it all started with. Yeah, I got to a point where the running back ran exactly where I wanted him to run. Football got me in college. Bethany College in West Virginia. Just being up there and learning a different environment, meeting new people, communicating. Like, I felt proud, and everybody else was right there with me. So I'll go here, I'll plant here, but I always come back because I know where you're going.
Yeah.
I did okay, but I wasn't a starter. So I started to think, like, am I really that good? It wasn't that I couldn't do the things that I was being told, just like I just always felt like I wasn't getting the fair shot. A lot of times my aggression came, and when it came, it came. If you strong, I know how to come directly to you and just lay a shoulder. Or just run completely through you. They always tell us don't hit the quarterback, and I hit the quarterback, but I didn't take him to the ground. And he tried to act as if I hurt him so bad. And the coach told me to get off the field. So I got off the field and I ain't come back.
You'd lay a shoulder on him and just, boom, they'd be down.
I was there for like a semester. I wasn't too sure about what I was gonna do in college. I just used to think, like, what am I doing in here? Like, I'm just playing football, and now football gone, and I'm working. I just was like, all right, what's the next step? What am I gonna do? How I'm gonna get back home? I came back home, and that's when I realized that my mother was getting put out of the housing project, and I had money to pay for the rent and everything like that, but she just was telling me, like, nah, son, you keep your money. It's okay, it's gonna be okay. She wanted me to stay in school and graduate. So, talked to some people, asked around and said, so you can see if you can get into Virginia Union and talk to this person. I talked to him and he helped me get into Virginia Union. True statement. Whether it happened today or not, I gotta get better. The streets don't love you back because it don't have no personality. I was in class and the professor asked the class, like, you know, can you guys present a book at the end of the semester? She believed everybody got a story to tell. She believed that we can do it. You can't be yourself. Known to be stuck trying to be someone else, living with no meaning becomes easy. It just felt so good, man, to accomplish something again. I had a void to fill, and it was football. I didn't have it anymore. So that took its place. I was glad I got my story out there. I told my truth, and other people can be motivated by me doing this. It would enlighten somebody else. It would enlighten that next kid, and I just wanted to give that motivation to them. And when they see a face that's so familiar, you know, they'll understand, like, that this man ain't just write this book for himself. He did it for everybody else behind him. It's so easy doing the wrong thing. Good becomes hard. We tend to give up. Look at where you are now and try to get where you need to be.
We at Legacy, and it's 9 o'clock a.m. And we getting ready for practice around this time. Well, practice at 9:30, and then after practice, we do journal and language arts for the first half. Then we do lunch, and after school, I practice again, then go to work.
15 minutes. 15 minutes.
Legacy is a private school. Legacy is a bike school. Legacy is a family, a brotherhood. So they grab a couple people from different neighborhoods, bring them together, make a family for them.
So what is it about riding that you like so much?
I could say looking at everything, actually, and it's peaceful. because I don't have nobody around me. It let go a lot of stress that I got into me, so that's something good about cycling. Like, it let go of everything. And I think about my dad a lot, too, so that give me, it helped me a lot. It's a lot you got to think about when you ride a bike anyway. It's actually hard.
What does success look like to you?
Making my mama proud, actually. Getting away from all the negativity. Being somewhere that I know other people can't be, like far away. Success is like buying my mom a home, putting some clothes on my brother and sister back. That's what I want. That's a dream for me too. That's a big step for being like their dad, since they don't have a dad. So I ride bikes because of that, because of my family. Become something better, yeah. Hey, come on, y'all, line it up.
Up, turn right here, cobbles all the way down, cobbles all the way up to here, that's one. All right, get out.
It was hard to lose somebody that put me into this world, but I think of it like my dad was in and out my life. I wish he was better as a man, because I couldn't look up to him. That was not the person I needed to look up to. It was just drugs and certain things that he posted that as a dad he didn't do. He won't dare, but it's my dad, so there's always respect for him. I wish he was still alive, though. I wish he was here to see this. I wish he was here so I could better himself, help him out. Yeah.
He's got one of the biggest hearts of anyone I've met. That kid has been through a lot. A lot of people close to him have died, more so than other people that I know. It really affects him every time. He really shuts down. He used to be the kid that was always disrupting class and always bringing others down. Like trying to stage mutinies. Like, we're not doing that. They all agree, and talking them into mutiny. He was a huge thorn in my side.
Them being there every day after school and them pushing me so hard and me wanting to quit so much, it was just a time for me to let all that out, and I just did, and it was just all because of stress. It was nothing they did, honestly. It was just things that I was going through in the past, and I just needed to let it out.
We put him out of the program 4 times. We can't do this right now. You're bringing everything down. Take this season off. Maybe if your head's back, come back in a couple of months. We'd love to have you, but right now we can't.
I didn't get it really. Like, I did because I messed up, I know, but it was like they was not trying to accept me for a while. Like, they was really trying to make me learn the lesson. I learned the lesson. That was an opportunity I had, and I didn't take advantage of it, and I wish I did at that time.
Coming back to the program, he's just like, it's fun to ride bikes. He likes it. That's probably what brought him back every time. And we would reach out to him and be like, hey man, it's been a couple of months. How's your head? Like, how are you feeling? Do you want to do this? And he would always say yes.
Doing different things I never did changed me. Being around people I never been around changed me. Getting better grades changed me. Going to better school changed me. You just ain't gonna be the same person forever. You always gotta change. So that's what really happened. Me being around a different environment, being around different people changed me.
I'm honored. You know, I appreciate the opportunity to share my story because my story is just like everybody else's story. You know, only the opportunity I didn't get is what y'all getting now, is that's us taking time out of our schedule and coming here and try to give y'all something that wasn't given to us. You know what I'm saying? We believe in y'all. You know, somebody had to believe in me until I believed in myself. I always wanted to be a barber, but if I ever would have told my friend that I wanted to be a barber, they would have laughed at me. Hey, man, you're a clown, man. You won't be a barber for real. But that was my dream. It's nothing nobody in life can ever tell y'all that y'all can't do if y'all want to do it. That's just what it is. But when you have friends around you that's telling you, no, you can't do that, man, them the ones you need to cut off. Because they going to stop you from your dream. They going to stop you from your gift. And you know where you going to find your gift at? In jail.
How y'all doing? Man, we are saluting the education program and the Believe program here at the Richmond City Jail, all under the leadership of Richmond Sheriff C.T. Woody, definitely a community sheriff. Let's give it up.
We took my Community Conversations, which is a program that I run on the radio. We just did it live in the jail. And so the Believe program at the time was that program. So they had the therapists there, they had the counselors there, of course, everybody that was a part of that program, they were all there. I meet this guy with 4 golds in his mouth. And I was like, okay, those golds match your jumpsuit. Get out. So that's how, and I was like, this is so amazing.
Pleasure to be right here, right now on the Believe field. First meet, I was always the class clown, you know, nothing under the sun was new. You know, so I always been like the jokester of the classroom. I ain't go to school like talking about I was skipping school and everything. If something positive don't happen for me right then and there, I quit, I give up.
Vaughn got an opportunity to speak. He was like literally sitting on the front row. And to hear him speak about his life, and he was a good person, but he didn't make the good choices.
I have 3 sons out there that I want to provide for. I want to be a good father. You know, I was always being a good father, but in a bad way. That's right. You know, I was making wrong decisions.
When they close them cells at night, you in there by yourself. You know what I'm saying? So don't nobody know what you're going through, what you're doing, none of that. But see, every time I would go in at night, I would pick the Bible up. I would give myself, you know, I would read. And it was just convicting me. Like, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that. I'm like, hold on, God, like, oh. You know, so I think he spoke to me, man. And he, you know, I think it was like, if you really want to change, let me see how much you're willing to do to make this change.
So I had to let go of my pride and ego, you know. I had to do things outside of my courage, outside of my box. But I know that's the only way that I'm gonna be able to succeed in life if I do things outside the box.
So I was up there talking to a guy, right? And I'm like, man, what's up, man? You know, I was telling him all the stuff that I was trying to do. I said, man, I'm tired, man. I don't want to do this no more. So he introduced me to a tier called the Believe program. He was like, man, you need to come over there with us, man. I'm like, man, I don't care where they send me, man. I'm just ready to change my life. You know what I'm saying? So he was like, all right. He said, I'm gonna get them to put you over there. So, of course, I was already wanting to change. So when I got there, it was like a breeze for me. Like, it was like, man, I don't care about all these rules. I don't care about nothing. I'm just ready to follow them. Just please, just help me, help me. You know what I mean?
None of that being clean just for the day. It's a day-to-day process that we live by in here.
He had a loving mama who had 6 children. She had to work. She did the best that she could do for her children. But you see guys that are in the community, they're making that money. Well, if you're living in a housing project, you got 6 kids. It's a struggle. So, hey, get the bag. You get the bag. Oh my God, they got the bag. I want in too. And then maybe he didn't want in. You just wanted to look like it. And then once you get in, you start making that money and that's it. But that doesn't take away from you being a great person because it was always there. You can't make it up. You can't make up a Vaughn Johnson. It was there the whole time, but something had to tap into it. I don't believe that people should have to go to jail or prison to learn, but that is, in some instances, that's the only way we learn differently. It gives us an opportunity to take a breather and say, that wasn't me. This is the real me, and I'm not gonna be ashamed to be the real me.
Thinking positive, being clean, operating with a pure motive.
Yeah, that, you know, like that jail, I can actually say jail changed my life.
I know I can do all the things that I always wanted to do. I can get my barber's license. I can be a forklift driver. I can be a counselor.
He didn't stop until he was sick and tired of being sick and tired. And that's the only way you can stop anything. So it could have started the first time you went to jail or that final time you went to jail. But all I know, he is doing his best to stay out of prison for life by giving back to the community that has so freely given to him.
I just said, why is God? I did everything I could right, you know. Why me? Why I have to get stuck with certain things that was happening to me? And then it was like, as you got older and I got more into my spirituality, it was like, if you hadn't went through those things, you wouldn't be able to be that person I need you to help to get those people out. Because in order to help somebody, and really, especially when you're dealing with people that's coming from, they done been knocked down, torn down, and they just at that last, to help somebody like that, you kind of like had to kind of like walk in some of those shoes. I had to go through it so I can know, I can tell people it's not easy. A lot of things I've been through, physically, mentally, a lot of things, it's not easy, but you just got to keep the faith. This breeze feels good.
Thank y'all for coming. I'm Katina. Nice to meet you. Same here. Today, we are doing a woman-to-woman conference. We are here just to motivate women, to encourage women, to inspire women to go for it. Go for it. Whatever it is that you want to do, go for it. I am Katina Brake, and on today, I want to share my personal journey with you all. I grew up in Fairfield with my mom and my sister in the household. I didn't have a bad childhood. I didn't start to feel like it was actually bad until school years, sometimes being picked on for not maybe having, name brand shoes or name brand clothes. Those feelings that were accumulated in school developed some of my mindset and my mentality, as I got older. Transitioning on, through life, I was a bad little girl. I started being or feeling like overwhelmed with now guys liking me instead of picking on me. So once that transition hit around about middle school, it drew me in. And so I started liking guys and just liking that attention from guys, at a young age. Sometimes you're gonna have to remember your 15 and 16-year-old self. By the time I was 15, I had my first child. I turned 16, that September. She was probably about a month or so old. And so I'm 16, I'm working, I have a child, I've dropped out of high school, and 2 years hit so fast, now I'm 18, so all I'm thinking about is getting my own place. And of course, I go to Chamberlain Avenue, headquarters of RRHA, and apply for my own place. October, I moved into Wickham Court, 18, 2-bedroom, and again, all I did was, work, came home, hung out with friends, life just journeyed on from there. I didn't have my next child, though, until I was 19. I'm living in public housing. It's based on income. The majority of my money went to shopping. I didn't have a checking account, savings account. I'm just living. So just know that if you are being blocked, that there's something better ahead for you. Life really, really did not become, oh, that's what I should have been doing until 30s. My brain, just did not piece together the puzzles of life. And so when I think back to my childhood, if I can speak through myself right now, I think if I had a better relationship with my father, if my father would have, had these conversations with me about from a male perspective, if my father would have, even if him and my mother wasn't together, but if he had co-parented with her on raising me, then maybe I could have told, the first little boy, no. Maybe if I had someone saying, I love you every day, then I wouldn't have longed for hearing it from anybody. Because anybody can tell you that they love you. And if that's all you want to hear is I love you, then when someone says it, it's everything that you ever wanted to hear. And so you gravitate to the person that says they love you, whether they're showing you they love you or not. Because now this is all you wanted, was to hear it, really. I don't know what my life could have been. All I know is what it is. You know, I fully understand that, you know, a lot of my life I tried to relive through my children. You know, the material things, the wasting money on, you know, brands, name brands, and just wasting money and time that, okay, the money you can get back, but look how much you wasted. There could be in a savings plan for these kids, you know? I wish I could turn over a bank account to them versus a photo album book of the shoes and clothes that they were dressed in. You know, what happened throughout your childhood created these thoughts that, you know, you gotta do better, but not even knowing how to do better, you're lost. And so I really just tried to find my way. You know, I beat myself up a lot, but it is never too late to find your way. It's never too late to find your way.
I'm about to give me something to drink for real.
Appreciate you.
All right.
All right, yeah, have a good one.
Thank you.
When I came back from Bethany College, my girlfriend told me that she was pregnant, and my heart dropped. Immediately, I told her that I wasn't ready to be a dad, and like we shouldn't have this kid. I started thinking about like, how did I make her feel when I told her to get rid of it? I got sisters, so I was looking at it from their standpoint. I was like, if a dude told my sister that, I'd go crazy. What was you thinking? She needed an apology, like who knows what she going through. I had called her the next week and I told her that I was sorry that I told her to get rid of it. She was like, it's okay. For her to forgive me and trust me at the same time, that gave me even more motivation to do what I was supposed to do.
Hello? Yeah, baby here.
It was like one of the most happiest times in my life, and it was scary too. I'm just holding her. I'm like, I'm really your dad. Nothing gonna change that. Like, I just kept kissing her, like, kept holding her and holding her. I ain't want nobody to touch her. Like, this is my child, like, you know, I knew then on, like, I had to step up. I used to sell anything I got my hands on. If a guy was in the neighborhood, he had toilet tissue, he had about 100 rolls of toilet tissue. I see what the price point was, and instantly I started to go to work. So if I bought the whole box of 100 for $50, then I knew I was gonna sell every tissue in there for at least $2. And that's what I did. And from then on, I was like, I'm gonna use this money to buy something else. But right around that time, I was writing my book. So I put the tissue money into buying my actual book myself, because I was getting it at a certain price. I was getting like $2 and I was selling it for 10. I used the book money and brought me a camera. Me and my friends, my 2 friends, we made a documentary interviewing all the local rappers, and we sold it. I'm like, man, we really doing this. I'm like, man, I'll get good with the camera. I'm gonna get a better camera. So I got another camera and I really started taking it serious. Started doing music videos. Then one day, one of my sister's friends said, hey, DJ, come over here, play some music for us. You got a lot of music on that laptop. Love music, everybody in here dancing. I'm gonna start DJing. So I was DJing, I was taking pictures, and I was making music videos. So I had money coming in all kinds of ways. I think I'm doing pretty good out here. So I just wanted to figure out how to keep everything flowing and going while still being a dad and stuff. I learned through trial and error how to get things done and how to really make some real money. And I'm still doing that to this day.
All right, Rich. Come on, boy.
This is how our life changed, the death of my brother. He was more of my kid's father figure. So I was on the outside. So everything they did, he corrected. But when he passed away, I had to step up and beat our mama. I couldn't take it no more. My brother, his death was like a couple of blocks from our house in Fairfield. And then it was like, it was too much. Then you gotta walk past where he died. And you get tired. So every day I just said, we moving every year for 2 years. And so they was like, Mom, you say that every year? I said, we moving. I promise you. It was in 2013. Then I started doing another shift in 2014, 15. That's what it was. It started from him. When I first set my goal, I was working like 6 days a week and 1 day off at first. Sometimes I work 7. And sometimes I probably work 5, but just doing doubles to 5 and then have my little 2 days off because I knew my body was giving out on me. My body was like, Coco, don't do it.
It hurted my 9th and 10th grade year not having my mom around, like with school, not being around for breakfast, dinner, lunch. You know, that's kind of tough because everybody need a support system.
When you work 3 to 11, they go to school from 7 to 3. So basically, when they was getting home from school, I was going to work for a year. Then I realized I heard somebody's voice sound deeper and different. So that's when I realized I gotta pump that back and then 7 to 3, see them, spend time with them.
She had to step up to the plate then to put that work in because nobody else was there to pay the bills. So I know it was a hard time for her and it was a hard time for us as well.
I think Christmas or 2 years ago, I saved up enough. And so instead of having gifts for Christmas, I gave them my house. And we came that night of Christmas, like the house was empty. It was like, Mom, this, I said, what's that? I said, this is our house, we live here now. It was like, this our house? I said, yeah, y'all got it, y'all own room, y'all, this our house. They was happy, very happy, very happy.
First night moving in here was very unexpected. It was a surprise, most grateful gift I ever had in my life. We got a lot of sports games, seriously. I like having my own room. I love having my own room. It's my own privacy, so yeah, I like having my own room. Good shot. I'm gonna come back and shoot one for you. I can focus better here, because I don't have to worry about what's gonna happen the next day. Like here, I just feel safe. Fairfield, I didn't. So I'm not more stressed out about what's gonna happen to me the next day, so that been a good stress reliever.
Hey, you never beat me in this game yet.
I learned from my mom she never give up easily. She is a pusher, you know. My mom just the queen of my house, so there's a lot about that lady. But as of right now, she just our leader. I love her to death.
Hey, little mama. Hey, girl. Hey, Miss Deborah.
From 2011 to 2018, this was home.
Normally during the month, I would go out at least once a month and hand out calendars of the activities that I offered. So Ms. Brake used to be in her kitchen window, and I would see her and she would wave or she would knock on the window of her kitchen and acknowledge that she saw me. Eventually it got to the point where she came to the door. She actually opened the door, and I said that to her. I can't believe you opened the door.
You know, she didn't make me feel bad for talking to her through the window. She didn't, you know, when she came back, she didn't bypass my house. She still stopped. She didn't judge me. Wrap it all up. She didn't judge me.
What you find sometimes is people are in their circumstances so much that they can't see past that. And she was able to see past that. And I think once she got the vision, that was it. Everything was open at that point to her. So she looked for opportunities and resources and things that she could do and get herself involved in.
And so my life really started to shift when I started to join these programs that, of course, I knew programs were out there, but I just didn't know what would best fit my life.
It's a lot of self-motivation that you have to have because things don't always work and sometimes people give up. She just never gave up. She always found something good, even in failure. Well, not even failure, but even disappointment. She just never let anything stop her. Once she started, that was it.
Me connecting to Miss Daniels and other people, and just strings of links of connections got me to where I am today.
I felt that Katina wanted to make change happen. She just needed some time to figure out what was going on the other side of the fence when we first met.
Gotta look forward. Gotta look forward. Sandy just started preparing me for things. It was like, when you come off of Medicaid and food stamps, you know, how are you gonna pay for these doctor bills? How are you gonna pay for groceries, you know, and still live?
At the end of a year and a half, Katina was like, Miss Sandy, I'm ready to be a homeowner. And I said, okay. So she said, what can I do? So I said, the class you took the credit class from will also help with home ownership.
My children and I made a decision. I said, you all can get your own place. That's fine. But we're leaving here. So get your apartment guide or go look. I told them that we could put up, you know, about $500 a month. And we could, you know, that could be for the house, you know, if we purchased the home together. And my oldest daughter's like, $500? No, there's no way that we need to put up $500 a piece. She already had the mindset, like, I'm gonna get my own place. And so, but she went looking for an apartment in Short Pump. And so when she got those prices, when she got that price list up in Short Pump, she came running back. Yeah, like, let's talk about that number that you said. Remember that $500 that you said we could put up? She was like, yeah, I think we ought to do that. I think we should. I think that'll be better. And so let's just stay together. And so I'm like, you know what? Okay, you know, we can just go in together and do this together. So that's what we ended up doing. You know, you can do it. You can do it. And I'm not saying it was stressful. I had some sleepless nights. I had some stressful days. I had some angry moments. I had some mad moments. You know, by all means, I don't want to paint this beautiful picture like something is just perfect for me and my family, because it's not. It was never perfect. It just was worth it.
God is there. He's taking you through things that you're going to need to have been going through in order to be able to take what he's got to bless you with and be able to use it in a good way. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to give you something here and you're not really ready because you wasn't really prepared, and then you might not use it in the right way and it won't be a blessing to you. It might end up being a hinder to you. So you got to go through this so you can appreciate and understand and develop that sense of compassion.
Ain't nothing like waking up every morning, coming to work, and doing something you love to do. You know, like, I love Bob. Like, I go to sleep thinking about cutting hair, I wake up thinking about cutting hair. I throughout my day, I'm like, man, how can I get better? You know, it's like I'm always trying to advance myself or advance my skills, because it's so much more in barbering than just cutting hair. When you're dealing with people, you know, you gotta make people feel good about themselves. You gotta make them feel special. I make people feel like they my only client. I ain't lying. Man, I make them feel, but that's how confident I am in what I do, you know, and I love, like I said, I love it. Barbering changed my life. Like, it did something for me nobody else could have did. Like, between God and barbering, I'm here. Yeah, that's it. Man, we at the shop. Time to go make this money. Welcome back. Let's get it right here. And not only is he a client, but he also one of the guys. He works in the jail. So at first I used to run from these guys. Now they come to get a haircut from me. He going down in history. Vaughn going down in history. World's best barber. Yes, sir. He did it. He did it. And I keep telling people, just being the best barber don't mean I cut better than everybody in the world. That don't mean that. It's what are you willing to do that make yourself over the top. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Dog, I found myself cutting hair on Firefield.
Avenue the other day.
I thank God for activating my gift before it was too late. 'Cause it was almost too late. 'Cause I think this time if I would have came home doing the same thing, I think I wouldn't have made it this time. I wouldn't have made it.
Everybody got something that they ain't tell nobody that they want to do. They really don't want to be in the game, but circumstances and situations put us there. Barbering is the reason why I'm not selling drugs now. I can guarantee you that one, because if I would have been working in any other job, this conversation wouldn't be going on. God put us in position for a reason, man. I can almost guarantee you everybody that's ever been in a situation like I've been in, that been in the streets or in the streets and trying to get out, I guarantee you they got something that they want to do in life.
I feel like my thing now is to help and encourage people. Like that's what I feel like, God, because it couldn't have been nobody. I was a person that never wanted to help nobody. Like, dude, I can't help you. I can't even help myself. I'm gonna help you. And then you telling me that I'm a person now, and then I like it. Like I really like helping people. Like, I don't mind going out, talking to somebody, letting them know my story, or even letting them know, like, I am not gonna tell you what to do, but this is what I did. You know, what worked for me might not work for you. Ooh, I ain't even finished though. It's going down, baby.
Hey, Ryan.
Yes, sir.
I'm done.
Rock and roll. Good job.
Before I came to Legacy, it was never no college for me. I never thought about it. I never dreamed about it. I never wanted to go. So when I came, I know what I needed. So I need college. I need to be around them people. And I'm gonna get very, very fast on the bike. Boy, that's a big bike. We're gonna visit Warren Wilson today, North Carolina, Asheville. We're gonna train with the team, go visit the campus. So that's something great. They get top 5 in the country, cycling team. And I have been there before, and it's a great area that I want to be at. Big mountains and a lot of farm too. Like, I actually like been around pigs and cows and stuff now. When I went there, like, I never seen a pig actually till I went to Warren Wilson. That was crazy. And everybody think it was funny because everybody seen a pig before and I didn't. So it was like, it was a big surprise for me to see a pig and cows and all that.
In October, I visited Richmond Cycling Corps and made a presentation to the class. And most of the students were pretty excited, but DeMonte just like stood out. Like, he was so excited.
All right, bike maintenance.
Yeah.
First offer came in, he had to fill out the college application. So he was like, what college you went to? I said, I've never been to college. He said, you never been to college? I'm like, no, you're gonna be the first.
I'm supposed to receive a letter between this week or next week, so that's a great opportunity. I hope I get accepted.
I don't want him to go real, real far, because we got a good bond right now, and I'm gonna miss him.
I think I'm gonna cry. I actually think I'm gonna cry. And the first person I think I'm gonna call is my mom. It'll be an exciting moment for me and her.
Really seem to have connected with campus, with the community. The team all love him and can't wait for him to be here. And I mean, I think he just feels it here, but we need to make sure that everybody is set up for success.
And yeah, I think I send myself there. Hopefully I get accepted.
One way, but he didn't. He did what he wanted to do. He could have went the other way, but he did. Find that love him. I'm so proud of him.
My mom had cancer, and she had cancer for a long time. I didn't know until it was too late. I packed all my things up, and I moved right on into her place and took care of her. When she passed, a lot of things started to fade away. You start to lose feeling. I didn't want nobody to feel bad for me. I didn't want nobody to cry for me. I just wanted to figure out what I was gonna do with myself, because I was just lost. I called my daughter. I called her and I asked her, stay with me. She said I was gonna ask you that already. I'm gonna stay with you. My daughter stayed with me that night. She held me, she went to sleep with me, and that was that. Like, that's all I asked for. Like, I needed her, she showed up. A little girl taking on all that responsibility of being around me.
I gonna win. Come on. Please.
All right, come on. I couldn't let her see me break down and stuff, because I had to still be a dad, too. I wanted her to, like, see my strength in a way, because I don't want her to feel like I feel. So to take on that, I just had to hide it from her until I knew, I could be around her without crying all the time. I could be having the craziest day. She can walk in here and just lighten up my day. As much as I lighten up her, she's gonna lighten up mine. Like, she loved me, I love her back. She just gave me that energy that, like, I could be lacking earlier that day, and just her being around me, like, I'm back. I feel whole again, yeah. Say hey. Say hey, like, hey.
Hey.
There you go. See? That's a little bit better.
Cookie.
You want a cookie? Cookies and chairs. See her combination?
Really? You want cookie?
There you go. What? It's all right. That's always a habit of eating her stuff. I don't know why. And I already had cookies. I just gotta eat a piece like she's still an infant. She growing too fast, man, I swear.
Big girl. That's Grandma Big Girl. You say hi?
I just feel like there's nobody in this world that cannot shift their mentality. You're talking about someone who just did the same things every day, and it wasn't that it was bad things. It was just I wasn't doing anything to grow.
You want auntie?
No. Being educated about parenting, it helped me learn things about myself, and it helped me learn ways of being a better parent for my children. And so now my children can be better parents than I was to their children. And so look at the generational habits that's starting to already change. If I can share with someone that's going through something, that I could possibly help that person shift their whole mentality. Once they shift their mentality, the child or whomever is in that household is gonna reap the benefits of that shifting of mentality to a positive state. And so now they're gonna change some generational habits.
Your food ready.
To be born and raised in the projects, and then your child is not. And then you can teach your child from a young child how to balance a checkbook. A checkbook I'd never seen as a child. Never. But my grandchild will. Credit that I never had as a child, never had as a young adult, but my grandchild has credit.
What you see in that mirror?
And then she'll be able to take those lessons and those things and teach her children. That's major. That's major.
Thank you, Lord, for this food we're about to receive. Bless the hands prepared, and bless those who partake of it, and bless those who are less fortunate. Amen.
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 I mean, it's just like a challenge for me to go to college just to meet new people. I'm just more worried about college than biking or anything. Of course. I'm just worried about fitting in their own college environment.
All the ladies in my family got good jobs. It's just a man, and I'm gonna be the first man to set that example for the younger generation in my family. I just need to set that example for everybody. Wake the man up in my family, be that leader.
I'd like to thank all of you for coming today. It means a lot. I can't believe it here, and many others probably can't either. This has been a goal of mine. It has been a long journey. I wish my pops was alive to see me graduate today. Hope you're proud of me today, Pops. Mom, thanks for fighting for me the past 18 years. There have been hard times, we pushed through them together.
As of right now, it does look like he's going to take a year to go to community college, get those core credits out of the way, and then transferring in next year to be able to come to Warren Wilson, come to the cycling team. In the meantime, we're going to be working on a lot of different scholarship opportunities to make that 100% feasible for him, because we do have some scholarships, but we also want to make sure that he's ready, he's prepared to be here.
Will the graduating class of Tennessee Academy 2019 please rise?
One in one hand.
Oh, Lord, one more.
Yes. It's a proud moment, child.
I had my doubts like 3 years ago, but every year changed. Rough bumps, but we made it. He made it. Very proud.
My life just getting started. It's just the beginning. College the beginning. Me graduating is the beginning. New life, new time, new things I gotta do, accomplish. Life ain't over.
Oh, that girl had a big spot. I gotta look at that again. I think I tickled her feet. That girl was happy, boy. Words from Dead. When I look into your gentle face, all my problems seems to fade away. My beautiful, adorable, and smart little girl, you are placed on a pedestal to be honored, cherished, and treated like daddy's little princess. Just know my shadow is behind you to give you a gentle nudge for your heart desires. I'm filled with so much love for Tori. Man, this 7 years old right here, so I never read it. I wrote it and read it and put it in the book. I was scared to meet her. Then when I saw her, like, everything changed. Like, everything. I could no longer live for myself then.
He takes me places, the river and the park. I like to put my feet in the river.
No, you can't wait. Go ahead. I know, let's put your feet in. Come on. I'm supposed to do better for my child, and I will. Every day I gotta prepare myself. I know where I'm supposed to be, and I won't stop till I get there. Also, I know what environment she's under. I know that mentally I gotta take her somewhere else.
Oh, my little baby.
You can live here, but mentally, like, it's better things out here. That's not to throw shade on anything that anybody else got going on, but it's the progress with me. Like, if you're not progressing, like, what are you here for? And a lot of people don't know what they're here for or what their purpose are. And I'm just glad I found mine.
Look, there's a bird. See? Two.
I also know I gotta build a foundation for her. You know, her and her kids. I gotta teach her the way, but it all gonna start with me before anything else. And I'm gonna make it happen.
How Rocky went that quick?
When you grew up in a certain place, you claim that place. You know what I'm saying? When you make it out and you know how it was, and you know, and you see, it's like, no, I'm coming back to my community. I'm gonna come back where I got all this from. All this part of who I am as a person came from living out here. So I'm giving back to what my community is. It's just like, you gotta pay it forward.
Who not child tie? All right? I want the people that think they know how to do it on the first go to come up here.
When they tie their first tie, and how they smile and how they embrace, like, man, I know how to tie. It's just amazing to see kids grow into being mature young men.
All right. We good?
What we're preparing them for is to be able to take on this world, man. If you're not prepared, man, you hit. I wasn't prepared for life. And that's why I made the decision that I made, because I wasn't prepared. I had no one to prepare me.
Tighten it up on your neck. How you tighten it on your neck?
They don't even understand, like, how we love these kids, because we know, like, Lord, the love that we didn't give, we give to them. Like, I'm hugging them, I'm loving on them. They think I be playing, but when I hug them, like, dog, it do something for me, too. I ain't get hugs like that from my dad. My dad, I don't even know, my dad never hugged me. I can't name one time when my dad hugged me.
It's gonna be a day. Y'all gonna have to tie.
If I can be that father figure for them, like, ain't no kid left behind.
Monte started the AJC cycling team. It's a middle school team. He just saw a need that needed to be filled and wanted to help them out. It's a middle school. It's a couple blocks away, also in public housing.
1, 2, 3. Boom. I want a program of me helping kids ride bikes. I want the same thing that happened to me to happen for more kids. Good job, Maya. The kids, they just make me smile. They brighten my day up, actually. I had a bad day today, and when I come here, it's just a whole different mindset for me.
Hey, Steve-O, you almost had it. Like, most people, if you can't do it, they'll just give up on you really quick. But Monte never did that. He always, like, believed in us and kept us going and stuff. If you have that one person that doesn't want you to give up or that keeps you going, it makes a bigger impact on your life than having nobody at all.
Which one you want? Oh, no. Yeah. And them kids bright. They got a lot of things to accomplish, too. They gonna accomplish at that, because I'm gonna be there for them every step of the way.
My name is Katina Brake. I love what I do. I love facilitating. I went through the program myself back in 2014 when they launched the first motherhood support group. By 2015, I was being trained and became a certified facilitator. Right now, we are at the Richmond Community Medical Office Building. This is where I facilitate my evening groups. Just learning a new way to parent was really different for me. I don't care who you are, you could use some support and some help, and you can lean on a shoulder yourself sometimes.
I want to be a better parent in general.
When you gain self-control and discipline, it doesn't just stop in one aspect of your life. You actually start to apply it in every area of your life. And so when you can have that discipline and that self-control in every area of your life, you're gonna see your own growth. It's really hard to try and make it off of $8 an hour and raise children and pay your bills. Just to know that me showing up for 2 hours, me telling you, hey, you know you're not right, that's not right, you know you should have done that differently. But it's no judgment. And then that person accepts that. It's, Miss Brake, you right. But I wanted to do it the wrong way.
Coming all together now, so it's good for everybody to be on the same page and the same understanding.
It makes me feel really good to have an impact, in somebody's life.
Right now, I am a behavior aide, and a behavior aide is basically a person who's one-on-one with a child, and basically your job is to, guide them. Let them know that it's okay to go to school, it's okay to do the right thing, because a lot of them is dealing with a lot of problems mentally, and my job is to keep them at ease. I really feel like it's a gift to talk to someone and get an understanding with them and really guide them through school.
All right, so we're gonna try something just a tad bit different. We still gonna work on flares, right?
I'm glad that I did find this job and that I am playing this kind of part in his life.
They only got 2.
I'm one of those guys, I'm gonna let you make mistakes. I'm not gonna sit right there and hold your hands. I feel like you do have to make some kind of mistakes to really make you who you are.
You 17 first.
I just want to keep him on the right track at the end of the day. I don't want to see him in the system. It ain't a good place to be.
So we're gonna work on that?
Just him wanting to be around me, talk to me about what he going through mentally, what he going through in school and all that stuff like that. That makes me want to come back because I can see it in him. He wants to do good, but he just don't know the way. And I just feel like I'm gonna show him that way.
Today we're doing the Stop the Violence Community East End thing we do every year in August. We always do an event where we give back to the community, especially in the East End. We was thinking about medals. You know, to hold something and say, yeah, I remember I participated. You know, I messed up a community, so now I need to revitalize it and build it up again. I'm gonna connect you with her and then you can go from there. You know, we just trying to change the mindset, because if we can change the mindset, then you can change the person. You know, when they start changing the mindset of the people, you don't have to be a product of your environment. And my environment says that we go to jail for the rest of our life or we die. You know, a lot of people see that, but I think I'm hope for my environment, so yeah, but that's what we doing today.
Okay. So, right, that's gonna be given to the team that wins that particular age group.
Violent week here in Richmond and a violent Saturday morning as police say there were 4 separate shootings across the city this morning. Police say around 4 a.m. they found a man shot with life-threatening injuries. He was shot along the 1900 block of Red Street just before 8 p.m. Friday night. Police say the next shooting happened about 6 hours later. Now that's where 4 people were shot and transported to the hospital. And police say just after 2:30 a.m. another shooting.
Hey, I know you though. It ain't nobody else. I know you though. No, sir. Bro, being that joint was terrible about being on. That was crazy, man. Yeah,
I had just talked to him just that. Come out here for one day. We do all this amazing stuff. Then we see y'all next year. You know, you think you do stuff like this that life will be better, but it don't get better. 2 weeks ago, I lost 3 friends. You know, like, it's just crazy. I went then, not only that, but I just went to another funeral Saturday. And then not getting cool with death, because, you know, when I went and cut my friend half, you know, he had a hole in the side of his head. You know, and it's just like, oh, that's where he got shot. Instead of being grossed out about it, it's just like, oh, okay. And that's not cool. That's never cool. It's gonna be an ongoing battle, ongoing fight. Like, it's just crazy. 'Cause even though I'm doing something positive and trying to bring peace and love and all that stuff, you know, people still getting killed. You know, the kids still getting killed. I question, you know what I'm saying? Like, still, like, what else can somebody do, man? That's crazy.
Even once you've done everything on your list and you've succeeded, you've achieved those goals, and now you're living, that things will still surface. It's not just happily ever after. Every level in life that you grow is something that you have to defeat.
A dozen people get killed out here during the weekend, and somebody come out here, like the mayor, and, you know, try to like motivate the youth and talk about the killings and all that. The damage already been done. You can talk about helping these communities, but you gotta really come out here and do it. You gotta really stand on exactly what you say. You just can't come out here when you want something. Like, we done already seen that so many times. It's not gonna change. But what's gonna change is people's mindset once they know they got something else to do. Everybody want to feel like they're a part of something great. These people don't feel like they're a part of nothing great. Figure out a trade, figure out what they're good at, what they're passionate about, and build on that. But they ain't got these resources. This all they see is these walls.
Ain't nobody looking this way. So we gotta find ways. We gotta find a lot of ways to help a lot of people. So when we find them 2 or 1, 2, 3, 4 people to help or become something that's big, that's gonna get us out this community. That's gonna help everybody. I just want this community to do better.
A lot of people don't come around, but they like to talk about the situation, like going on in the news and stuff that goes on around here and stuff that people talk about. But you never got a chance to go in and talk to the source of the people, you know, so I really, you know, I say, man, like, it's just crazy. I'm about to cry, man. You know, and it's crazy. Everybody ain't bad. Everybody ain't bad.
When they're heard, they can do so much more. They weren't born and the Lord stamped them and said, you go to RHA. They didn't come like that. It's like they've always been in this pool of frustration and no one hears me. I'm a number when I go there. I'm a number. But I need them to know my story.
It's always hope. Without hope, you just a walk around empty shell. No, I have hope. I see better. I see God working in things, and even in the worst of things, I can see the good. So I'm good. I see it's happening. It's gonna be all right.
We got a backyard. I think today is history for real.
The fireplace.
Oh my God, and that fireplace. Before I even stayed here, I just wanted my boys to see it. And you know, they happy about it. It's good, man. Yeah, I'm happy. Let's go. I always be real with them. They know, like, the situation their dad was in. They know everything. They don't want to go to jail. That's first and foremost. That's what they tell me. They don't want to go to jail. I want to say this is my key room. Whatever they want to do, they can do it. Whatever they want to do, I'm going to be a part of it. We blessed, man. I'm telling you, man. Y'all got to know, boy. As us as fathers, we have to know, man, you have to be there. You have to, bro. You cannot miss no time. None of that. Like, you cannot do that, man, because them boys going to grow up so fast. Ain't nobody, if somebody would have told me 17 years ago that my son was gonna be 18 and I was gonna be here to see it, you can start on your room now, Mikey, for real. If you want, we gonna be here for a while. When I turned 40, I was scared, man. I was scared, and I don't know why, I was just nervous, like in my stomach. It was a Friday too, I ain't even want to come to work. I just was happy I turned 40 because you talking to somebody who ain't even supposed to make it to 18. You know what I'm saying? My mama, as soon as I turned 18, my mom went and got a life insurance policy out on me. I'm looking at this, I'm like, what is this life insurance? She like, boy, I ain't know if you was gonna make it back. Yeah, my mom told me that, and they was like, hey, that's the first time I ever found out I had a life insurance policy on me. Yup. I was living that bad. I was just thinking about some stuff last night, and like how God just brought me through alignment. And then people just don't understand, man. My story like crazy, dog. Like I know, like if you could have been in my shoes and did the stuff that I did, like then you'll do the same thing I'm doing. Like it wouldn't even be, it's not even a question why I'm doing what I'm doing, cause I know why. God got me. Like God got me, man. It ain't even a question why. It just hurt because I know all the stuff I've been to, and for me to see 40, whew, and I was free. And I was free, dog. I wasn't even locked up. But me to make it to 40, you couldn't have told me I would have made it to 40. Now you couldn't, no. Because ain't none of my friends made it to 40. None of them. Yep. But yeah, man, my sons like them boys. Them boys are awesome, man. Yeah, I wouldn't even want to have no another son. Like, I love them boys. Like, they're my dog. Yeah. Hey, man. Got me crying, man. Shoot. Dang. Man, I've been through a lot. Yeah, I've been through a lot. That's crazy. Yeah, I've been through a lot.
So look, I'm gonna tell you how this went, right? So I was supposed to wait for it until March, but they sent it under like a surprise. Like the whole board, like the staff administrator was there, the teammates, they're like all of us in one room, and like they gave me this at one time, like they congratulated me at one time. It was like unbelievable. Like I was nerve-wracking, I was crying. They was crying actually too. That's the wild thing about it. They was crying. So, all right. So, the free money I got. Well, so far, but I got an extra 30,000 to it too as well. So, I got this for writing the essay, and then I got an extra 30,000 too. Extra 30,000 as well on the scholarship. So, full ride scholarship this year. Like I look at this paper every day now. Like every day I look at this paper. Like every single day, before I take a test, before I go to sleep, before I wake up, look at that one Pacific paper. Or this part right here.
That's it right there. Oh my God.